have we focused too much of our manufacturing from overseas?
Hi, Tim. I think what we're going through at the moment is caused a lot of people to think about the structure of the economy and the kind of trends that we've had in recent years. It has been a bit amusing that the public perceptions about decline in manufacturing have been worse than the reality. We still have a strong manufacturing sector in Australia, and right now we're really relying on it. It's one of the sectors that is still operating, not untouched by any means, but a lot of people are still going to work. They're producing really important things, food, medical supplies, and some of the machinery and materials that go in to support the energy and the waste and the other essential services we have. But the public perception is we don't make things anymore, but we do. So this, if there's one bright spot out of this for manufacturing, is it may cause both a public and a political reappraisal of what a really good balanced economy is, and the importance of a manufacturing sector that's well capitalised, has lots of full-time employees and can plough through these kind of disruptions a lot better than other parts of the economy.
Yeah, we're an enormously industrious country. We have been for a long, long time. But should we have more manufacturing here? It's great that our business is robust, our manufacturing is robust, but should we have more? Because a lot of people who are calling in at radio stations or, contacting government authorities are saying that, we have been struck down because a lot of our stuff is coming in from there.
Whether we have more, we have to have the right amount of manufacturing, and that's the one that supports both what we want in terms of the latest goods, cheap goods, and the latest technology, which comes from global interaction, but with that sort of redundancy to know that we've got the capacity to make it here if necessary. And I think that's where one of the areas of reappraisal will be, building that redundancy in so we're not as reliant on those overseas supply chains. We've got alternatives locally. The other thing that's really important is the world we left behind 2 weeks ago, when we get back to it very soon, hopefully, has some big challenges, particularly in energy and things like that, and the technology and the contribution that Australia can make as an energy superpower under a new framework for energy, including hydrogen and mix of renewables. So using our manufacturing base to drive those sorts of things is really smart strategy.
The greatest threat in this country with COVID-19 is that our health system will be really pushed to the limits. And ventilators obviously are the item that hospitals and ICU units need. How nimble is our manufacturing community to be able to divert from, say, one product into making ventilators?
Well, our manufacturing sector is very nimble because it's had to be nimble over the last decade or so. A lot of manufacturers have swapped supply chains. They were in automotive, then they went to mining, and then when that peaked, they went over and did more specialist aerospace or defence or medical work in many cases. So they've already got a reputation for being able to jump horses very quickly, and that's already happening. Even as we speak, companies are forming consortia, looking for other companies they can link up with to do that really innovative stuff like ventilators at short notice, using 3D printing and using capacity that's otherwise used for other areas. Supply chains are reforming, so some of the fundamentals that we rely on, which may have some imported component that's temporarily unavailable, can be made here. So that's already happening. There's a number of agencies out there that are collating that information and forming those networks, and so that work is already happening.
So we must remain positive through this whole crisis. I think everyone acknowledges that. And every cloud has a silver lining, all those cliches. You would think that manufacturing through this process may learn quite a bit as well, like every other part of society.
Look, it's learning. It learned a lot this week. I spoke to a lot of manufacturers this week, and they're learning by the hour. I think they're learning about risk. They're learning about that redundancy issue that I talked about, having a bit of fat. And they're learning about innovation, as you said, about the value of being nimble. They're thinking on their feet. Some of them have become very efficient counsellors to their staff who are suffering some anxiety or even financial stress. So there's an awful lot of learning going on. And the important thing is that's rolling up into outputs that we can all use over the coming short period.
Finally, Mark, look, a change of pace slightly, but our generation, yours and mine, footballs, meat pies, kangaroos and Holden cars, were you disappointed to see the end of Holden in this country?
Look, it was disappointing that such a large part of our industrial base did exit. A lot of people outside manufacturing don't understand the contribution that a really solid base and spine like the automotive assembly industry provides for the industry. It trained a lot of managers. It drove a lot of the innovations like lean manufacturing that created a lot of value. They came out of automotive. We're looking to see whether that can come out of food and aerospace and other remaining supply chains. But when you lose a big part of your spine like that, there are all sorts of unintended consequences. So Australia now and in the future has to keep evaluating what does a really good balanced economy look like, what's the contribution we can make, what's the important role of design and engineering capacity, not just being able to put things together, but being able to think about how they should be put together. That's a really big gem that we've got. Australia has got some of the best engineers in the world in a number of sectors. A lot of those automotive engineers are now working in other sectors because they know how to put factories together, they know how to design and put products together and evolve them. So those skills are really important for the Australian economy, no matter what shape we have.